My name is Sidharth Rajaram, and I've been a Cupertino resident for 9 years now, and I'm the 2019 Public Safety Champion. So the year was 2012, and while I was walking to the library, I noticed a booth outside, and it had what appeared to be a bunch of supersized walkie-talkies, and I'd always been a pretty big fan of those kind of toys. So I walked over, and then I started, asking if I could, use them and talk on them. And I asked them, who's listening to me? And they basically told me somebody in Arizona. And at that point, I was like, okay, these aren't, normal walkie-talkies. And then I asked them, so what does it take to, own one of these by myself? And they told me, you got to take a test, you got to learn all this stuff. So here's a website. So I went to the website that same day on my dad's phone. I went to the library, got a book that could help me study for that test. So I went down to the Saratoga Fire Station in August, and I took the test, and at the age of 12 I managed to pass and get my technician license, and I've been a proud ham radio operator since then. Right after I passed the test, I went back to the website of that group that I saw outside the library, CARES, and then that's when I learned that these radio skills can actually be used beyond hobby. It can be used for emergency service and really playing a critical role in the way that our city communicates in terms of a disaster, an earthquake, and things like that. So naturally I felt that it would be really cool if I could use a hobby to help people. In any kind of disaster, what usually happens is the normal communication infrastructure fails. You won't be able to make a cell phone call. And this can prove incredibly dangerous and incredibly debilitating for things like 911 calls, routine emergency situations like that. So that's where CARES comes in. Ham radio basically serves as a kind of like a communications framework when everything else fails. So as a CARES member, I'm primarily involved in two major responsibilities. So the first is drills. So this means maintaining and improving our city's emergency communications network. So one of the drills that we do is we practice simulated emergency situations. The second thing, which is outreach, means going to things like the Emergency Preparedness Fair and talking with citizens of all ages about the importance of ham radio and the importance of being prepared in any kind of disaster. I've always thought that from a pretty young age that service is kind of like the rent you pay. There's like that Muhammad Ali quote about how service is the rent you pay for your room here on Earth. And for me, not only is it Earth, but it's also the privilege to be able to live in what I consider the greatest city and the greatest country on Earth. And I think that service is almost like an obligation for me to give back to the city. And if I can help people stay safe in the case of an emergency, or maybe inspire somebody else to join CARES, I think that I would have done a pretty good job.